From the culture of the American South, where roots hold stories, comes a natural deodorant inspired by generations of wisdom. Introducing Rootwork, the all-natural foundational Black American-based deodorant infused with the magic of High John the Conqueror root. Our unique blend enriched with this legendary root offers 24-hour protection, rooted in the power of nature. Embrace this deodorant that celebrates culture, history, and your well-being. Unlock the magic of Rootwork today. Experience the pure essence of nature. Visit rootworkstyle.com and make the switch to a healthier cultural choice.
DJs that would play these breaks. There's Baron, Breakout, Theodore, Herc, Flash, Bam. Charlie Chase is part of that first generation. He's 75. So, I can't speak to Smokey because I don't know. But I know who the first gen is. And Mario is part of the first generation, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. What's up, Tariq? How are you, man?
I'm good. How's everybody doing?
Good, my brother. Glad to have you up, Tariq.
What's up,
Yes,
man?
indeed. Man, let's first of all, we got to clear up a lot of stuff. There's no such thing as a Latin break. There's no such thing. That's something that our good brother, Mr. Cologne, has made up. Nobody was doing a Latin break because a Latin break doesn't exist. James Brown, when he did Give It Up and Turn It Loose, that wasn't Latin. Even in the song, when they were playing the congos, he was like, to the jungle brother. In the jungle brother, he was making a reference to Africa. The congo has always been an African instrument. When you say Latin, you're talking about Spanish culture. There's nothing Spanish about a damn congo. Let's get that straight. They try to play these little sleight of hand tricks when it comes to instrumentation and music genres. A lot of the congo playing in the early 70s, including the Incredible Bongo Band, there was a foundational Black American sister out of Detroit playing on that record. The same sister who was playing on some of the early Marvin Gaye records. If you look at or listen to the What's Going On record, listen to a lot of the congos in that. That's a sister from Detroit playing that. Nobody Latin. So let's stop this stuff. We knew about the congos. We knew about drums. We knew about percussive instruments. That was something that we've been doing that for a long time. We would use our body as percussive instruments. We had something called pat and juba, where we would pat on our bodies in rhyme. How many of y'all remember ham bone? The ham bone, have you heard? And we're patting our bodies. So we knew about percussive instruments. So we've always done that. We've always rhymed over beats as foundational Black Americans. Going back to the 1920s, there's Black people rhyming. And let's talk about what rapping is. Rapping is atonal rhyming over a beat, meaning that you're not committing to any type of note. There's records going back to the 1920s of foundational Black Americans rhyming over beats, not just the Jubileers. We have jazz singers doing this stuff. Going back to what Cologne said earlier about Pumpkin being one of the first producers in hip hop. Pumpkin was Panamanian. Nobody knew that guy was Panamanian at all. He was playing funk breaks, and the record Rapping and Rockin' the House, that's an interpolation of Cheryl Lynn's Got to Be Real, foundational Black American sister. So
everybody knew he was Panamanian, brother. Nobody knew. Panamanian. Everybody knew he was Panamanian. Tariq, come on, man.
Cologne.
Come on, man.
Shot Rock isn't, listen, brother. Okay, if you want to talk about what people knew, you're talking about all of these Latinos who were there beforehand. Everybody in the movie Microphone Check, including Shy Rock, who's rapping on Rapping and Rockin' the House. Right. She said wasn't no Puerto Ricans there in the early days. You understand?
Okay.
Melly Mel, who's in the movie, said wasn't no Puerto Ricans there in the early days. The first B-boys who were there in the early 70s, Sasa, Trixie, they said weren't no Puerto Ricans dancing with them. Coke LaRock, the first MC, wasn't no Puerto Ricans around. Charlie Rock, who you had on your broadcast before, he said wasn't no Puerto Ricans around. Nobody knew these so-called.
He didn't say that. Crew. He didn't. Tariq, he didn't say that. Come on now.
Yes,
he said there wasn't. He said there wasn't many Puerto Ricans around. He said there was some.
Sir,
okay, he didn't say there were none.
No, in the early days,
wasn't no
Puerto Ricans. Right, wasn't no Puerto Ricans around. He said y'all came later. I have him on film saying this. You came later. I have him on film saying this, brother. No,
He's on
all of
my
this,
he's on my platform saying it. So yeah, I know
right,
he said that. Yeah.
right. And
hmm
are you saying all of these pioneers are lying, Cologne?
No, no. Let me explain. So when they say that they again, I'm not where they were. I'm not in their head. I can't speak for them, and I won't even attempt to do that. As far as Chirac and
But you
First New
were in the
York City,
Bronx.
I was in the Bronx. Yes. Yeah, but let me answer Tariq. So, as far as Chirac, so Pumpkin is Panamanian and Costa Rican. The conga player that's playing on Rapping and Rocking the House is Puerto Rican. Okay, so and I have him in my documentary coming up talking about that session and what happened in that session and the climate in the Bronx. So when they say, this is what I want to know, Tariq, when they say what element are they talking about? Are they talking about MCing? Are they talking about the B-boys? Because Charlie Rock says there wasn't a lot of B-boys, but then I bring up 5 foundational B-boy crews from 75 to 79, and he says I never heard of them.
Right.
So I
Nobody's ever
don't,
heard of those people that
no,
you
that's
named.
not true, brother. That's
That
not
is true.
true.
What
Come
flyers
on.
are they on?
TBB,
Yes. What flyers do you see those
I
guys
got
on?
flyers for you. I'll send you the flyers.
I would love
I'll
to see
send
them.
you the flyers. I'll
From
send them
what
to you.
and from what year?
Right, the 70s. I'll send you the
I would like to
flyers.
see them. All of
Okay.
these other Puerto Rican b-boy crews you were naming, none of them are on flyers.
Yep. They're all on flyers, bro.
No,
TBB
how
is
come
on
nobody?
flyers.
Who's flyer? I would love to see these flyers
Jams.
because
No, you
nobody
weren't
heard
with
of these
us.
guys, bro. And these
That's
weren't
not
really
true.
b-boy crews. These were just like little cliques of Puerto Rican dudes hanging with each other. They weren't really b-boy crews. You're
We
saying they're
we
b-boy crews. Nobody knew them.
but we talked about earlier, you weren't on yet. We talked about what was happening on Herc's side of town, what was happening in Bronxdale where Mario was, and then we talked about what was happening at in the South Bronx, 118, 129 St. Martin's. That's where they were. So if you talk to Grand Wizard Theodore, he'll tell you who those crews were. If you talk to Charlie Chase, he'll tell you who those crews were.
He's
The
Puerto
B-boy
Rican, so
community knows who those crews were. I don't know how Charlie Rock does not know them. He says he was around there, but he says up and down he has no record. But here's what's funny, Tariq. He says he doesn't know them, but he knows Track 2 and he knows Bomb 5. Track 2 is from Star Child LaRock, one of those crews. Bomb 5 is
and
from
nobody heard
TBB.
of these. Nobody heard of Star Child LaRock. They've never been on no flyers back in the day.
Oh, brother, I'll
No,
send them to you. I'll send them to you.
nobody's heard of them, dude. A
Okay,
couple
I'm
of
gonna send them
dudes
to you.
hanging around on their block. Nobody knew
No,
these guys,
these are
man.
big crews, bro. These are not
They
small
were not big
crews.
crews. Nobody knows them. Nobody knows any of these guys, man. That's
Why
like
are
the
you
dudes
saying
who
that?
like
Because Charlie
don't
said
nobody
that?
know these dudes, man. No,
Come
nobody
on, man.
knows them. Nobody knows these guys. You guys are trying to make some insignificant dudes relevant that nobody knew in the
So
1970s.
so
These
I tell
guys
you what.
didn't move the culture.
I tell you what. I
Nobody
tell
knew
you what.
these dudes, man.
I
Nobody
tell you
knew
what.
them.
I tell you what.
That's why
On
there's
your
no
bro.
proof. It's always I'm gonna show you. I'll show you later. No, show us now. Show us where they are. Where
Well, I can't. I
who knows
can't.
these guys?
I can't pull up the flyer for you right now.
Nobody
We're on
knew
the
him, man.
live.
Charlie Rock didn't know him, and even your guy, when you had him on your broadcast, they were saying that they got their dancing from black people.
Who's that?
Your
Who?
guy,
Who's my
what's your
guy?
guy? Was it Batch? Yeah, Batch.
No, he didn't say he got dancing from black people. He said
They,
that hip hop comes
come
from
on.
black Americans.
You know,
Yes,
they learned it
that's
from
what he
black
said.
people.
That's
They
not what
learned it from
Batch
black
said.
people.
That's not what
Dude,
Batch
don't
said.
twist the man's words. They got it from black people, dude. That's what he said on your broadcast. They
That's
got it
not
from
what he
black people.
said. That's not
Oh
what he
man,
said.
that's what he
That's
said,
not
man.
what
Don't
he
try to mix
said.
the
Tariq,
words,
come on. Come on. He said
dude.
hip
So
hop
he's saying hip
comes
hop came
from,
from black
yes,
people.
that's what
Okay.
he said. He
All
didn't
right.
say
So is he a
breaking.
liar? Is he a liar? If he said hip hop
No,
comes from black people, your own guy, the
no,
Puerto Rican Batch, who's a part of this magnificent crew that you're talking about, saying
right?
that hip hop came from black people, is your boy lying?
No, he's not lying. He's talking about the rap industry. That's what he's talking about.
Oh
He
Lord.
made that clear. He made that clear. He said, I'm talking about the rap part of hip
He
hop.
didn't say that. He didn't say that on
No,
there.
no, 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 no. He cut. Did you see the second video that he made?
Oh Lord, explain it. Now explain
No,
it.
I mean, did you see the second? He made it. I didn't make it. He made it.
He
He
said
made
hip
a
hop
second
came from
video.
his black brothers. He said your Puerto Rican
Yes,
brethren said hip hop came from black people. That's what he said. Now
he
you're
did
trying to
say that.
remix what he said.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not. He did
Come
say
on,
that,
Derrick.
Tariq.
Right.
Tariq, I'm
So
not.
so
I'm
why
not.
are you
He
denying
said
it?
that.
Okay, if he said it, why are you denying it now, Derrick?
I'm not denying it. I'm telling you what he meant by what he said.
Oh, he meant something else.
That's what he's saying. I can't
Okay,
speak
there
for
you
him,
go,
bro.
family. See, this is what we're saying. This is why we're setting the record straight, because y'all doing this little word, this little
No,
sleight of
no, no,
hand game. Well,
brother.
it meant something else. He said this, but it meant something. That's why we have to get the record straight with you and the Fat Joes out here
So what
telling
about
a
the
bunch
Zulu
of
King? So what
bro.
about the Zulu Kings?
What about them, dude? What about the
So what
Zulu
about
Kings?
they're
You
part of the
talking about?
found they're part of the foundational crews. The Zulu Kings are part of those foundational crews.
The thing is, a lot of those cats were nomadic b-boys and b-girls, so they were going all around the Bronx, dancing, clicking up with people. So
Sure.
they were a crew or a clique. These were like informal gatherings. You get 3 or 4 people from who are individual dancers. They become a clique for that day, and then they
No, no,
become
no.
individual
But we're not
dancers.
talking about that.
No,
We're
no, no.
talking about
That's
the
what. Yeah, yeah,
Zulu
yeah. Because
Kings. We're talking
it's
about the specific Zulu Kings. Charlie Rock is a member of the original 11 Zulu Kings.
okay,
That's not
and
a nomadic. I'm asking you if they're part of these foundational crews, which they are. It's TBB, it's Salso, it's the Zulu Kings, it's Star Child of Rock, it's CC, and it's the Rockwell Association. And when you got legends
these are
who will
not
tell you,
foundational crews. These are just a lot of these are random crews. It's TBB. They're not a foundational crew. What are they the foundation of? You're trying to mix some
no, no,
TBB
no,
with the Zulu Kings.
they're the first foundational b-boy crews
No,
in
they're
the
not.
Bronx.
No, they're not.
I'm talking about all the crews. These are the
TBB
first
is not the
crews.
first. No, you can't be the first foundational group of anything, and nobody's ever heard of you. They're not the first foundational group.
Everybody
They're not.
knows who
They're not
TBB is.
comparable. They're not comparable to the Zulu Kings and Charlie Rock and those guys. Charlie Rock and those guys are on early flyers in the 1970s. No,
No,
TBB,
no, they're
they're not.
not. No, they're not.
Charlie Rock. There's Charlie Rock's name is on the flyer in 1977, sir.
Yes, he's an MC. He's a rapper. He's an MC at that point. He's not
Charlie
there
Rock
as a
was an MC.
b-boy.
Charlie
Charlie
Rock
Rock is
was
with the Soul Sonic Force. Yes, he's an
Charlie.
MC.
Charlie Rock made an MC, made a record in the early 80s. So he was rapping in the early 80s, but he was a b-boy
I know he was a b-boy. Yeah,
in the
I
70s.
know. I know he was a b-boy in the '70s.
So
But
what
he
are you
stopped
talking
at a
about,
certain
Derrick?
time. I'm talking about the name on the flyer. When
Right.
he's on that flyer, he's not on there as a b-boy. He's on there as an MC. That's what I'm telling you. These are his words, not mine. I've already discussed this with him.
At that
So
time, he was still a b-boy. He was a b-boy. You had
so was Flash. So was
Melly
Melly
Mel was a
Mel.
b-boy. No, Melly Mel.
Yes,
Right. I'm saying Melly Mel was a b-boy, but he was an MC too.
I know. I
Grandmaster
know
Flash
that.
was a
Yeah.
b-boy. Grandmaster Flash was a b-boy too.
Yes, I know. I
Shy
know.
Rock was a b-girl. A
Yes,
lot
I
of them
know.
rapped and rhymed and danced. So that's not anything.
Yes.
That's not saying anything, sir.
I agree with you. Well, everything you said, yeah,
Okay, but the thing is,
that's
you
all
tried to do a
true.
slight. You tried to do a sleight of hand to make it seem like there was a difference between the two, as if they weren't doing the same thing. Many of them were b-boys, b-girls, MCs, all wrapped up in one. Graffiti artists, all wrapped in one. Herc was a graffiti artist as well as a
Right.
DJ. So a
Right.
lot of them encompassed a lot of the elements of hip hop. So let's not do the sleight of hand
But
trick, sir.
do you think it's responsible of you, somebody who's doing a documentary at that caliber, that you're going to do yours? Do you think it's responsible that you're saying that these other crews did not exist or nobody knew about them? Have you tried to speak to any of these people?
It's responsible to tell the truth, because many people within your community, the white Latino community, are
Oh,
going around here
come
trying to
on, Tariq.
colonize our culture by lying. And you weren't there at
Have you
those b-boy
spoken to them?
jams. I've
Have you
spoken to
spoken
all
to any of these guys?
I've spoken to all of the pioneers, almost every
Have you spoken
significant
to Batch?
pioneer. I
Have you
don't need to
spoken to
speak to
Batch?
Batch.
Have you
I don't
spoken
need.
to Charlie
Look,
Chase?
when I tried to speak to you and other Puerto Ricans, y'all were ducking and dodging and dipping and diving. When
I
I
was the
tried
only
to
one
speak,
that ducked out.
right,
I was the only
right.
one that ducked out. I don't
And
know who
right
you asked.
when I tried to speak to you, you kept dipping and diving and ducking out and flaking out.
Hmm.
I wanted to speak to Charlie Chase, and I told you to hook me up with him. Y'all start dipping and diving and ducking and dodging. So I
I
don't want to
asked
hear
him.
that.
No, no, no.
I
Hold
don't
on.
want to hear
Hold on.
that.
Hold on.
Let's not
I
do. No, we're
asked
not going
him,
to do that because when I went to the Bronx looking for you guys, none of y'all hit me up. I went to the Bronx. Hey,
bro,
I called you
bro.
personally. I said, Derrick, give me some of these Puerto Rican pioneers.
You
Give
didn't
me
ask me
Crazy
that.
Legs
You didn't
information.
ask me that.
Y'all,
You didn't ask me that. Come
that's a
on, man.
lie.
Come on.
Come
You
on.
didn't ask me that. You didn't
That's a
ask me that.
goddamn lie.
You
That's a
didn't ask
damn
me that.
lie.
You
Yes, I
asked for my
did.
information.
And I
You asked
asked
for
for
my
all of those
information.
people's information. That's a goddamn lie. You're lying
Okay.
now.
Well,
I
where did
asked
I
for
tell
some of
you to
these Puerto
go?
Ricans.
Where did
Did
I
I
tell
not
you to
ask for
go?
did I not ask for Crazy Legs
No, you
information?
did
You said
not.
he's that's a lie.
You did not.
Now you're just straight up and down lying, which
Keep
is the
going.
point,
I'm sorry. I cut you off.
sir.
You're gonna say something else.
Sir. Now you're just
Keep
not
going.
you're arguing in bad faith because now you're just not telling the truth.
You
I
didn't
asked
ask
for
me for
all of these
crazy
people.
legs.
Yes, I did. I asked you to hook me up with these Puerto Rican pioneers, and you were like, "I'm gonna see what's up. I'm gonna hook you up with this one random person that don't nobody know." I'm like, "Okay, have him hit
No,
me
no,
up."
no. Yeah,
He
yeah,
never
him.
hit me up either.
Randy.
Yeah, he never hit
That's
me up
Randy.
when I was
Yeah,
out
and
there.
I
Right, and
talked to
he's a
him.
nobody, and he's another nobody, by the way. But I have your nobody on there. He never hit me up anyway, and I gave you guys my
Yeah, I
number.
can't.
So don't play that.
Yeah.
Don't play. Yeah, don't play
No,
that
I
game
did. No,
as if I didn't reach.
I gave him your number. I gave him your number. Hold on.
And he
I
never
gave him
hit
your
me up.
number.
And
He
he
never
never
hit
hit
you
me
up.
up. So I
That's
was there for
I
all of
can't
it.
control that. But here's
Right.
where you didn't go. Here's where you didn't go.
No,
Tariq, be
I don't
honest.
want to. No. I don't want to
You
hear where I
didn't go to
didn't go. I
Crotona
was there in the
Park.
Bronx. Oh,
You
stop
didn't
it!
go to
Stop!
Crotona Park.
For
You
what?
went
Go
to
to Katona
Mario's
Park for what?
Day
For what? For what? What am
for
I
the
going to do
Crotona
at
Park game
an
that
outdoor
Kaz was
concert?
throwing. Yeah,
What
that
am I going
Kaz
to do
threw.
at an outdoor concert?
Interview people because that's where they all
Interview
were.
who? I'm not playing Where's Waldo for the Puerto Ricans. Interview who?
Everybody was there.
Who is everybody?
Everybody. All these crews.
I'm not playing Where's Waldo to find some Puerto Rican.
Come
Let
on,
me
man.
know who's who and I'll go interview him. I'm not going to go to a concert and just kind of wish for some magical Puerto Rican to pop the
But you
fuck
went to
up. Let
Mario's
me
and
know
did
who's
that.
who. Let me
But
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
you
I didn't
went
do
to
that at Mario. I didn't
what'd
interview
you do?
anybody at Mario. I didn't interview anybody out there. What are you talking about?
You told me you had your equipment and it rained.
I did, but I didn't interview anybody out there. Number one,
Okay, okay,
it
all
was
right,
too
all right.
damn loud, and I was hoping to meet Charlie Rock out there, but I met him later on. So I didn't meet
Yeah, he
anybody
was
out there
there.
at Mario Day. I didn't meet
Okay,
anybody out there, and I'm
understood.
not going to Katrona Park to look for some unknown Puerto Rican who nobody's telling me about.
That's not why I sent you. That's not why I
So
asked you to
so yeah
go there.
so
I asked you to go
so
there so you could see what the
y'all want to
scene
play these
was.
little slight. I'm doing a
That's why I
movie.
asked you to go there. Go,
I'm doing a
you
movie. I'm not shooting a concert film. I want
you
to
were
talk to some
interviewing Kaz the
pioneers.
next day. You were interviewing Kaz the
I'm
next
trying to
day.
find some of these
Kaz
Puerto
is the
Rican
host.
pioneers.
That's where you
I'm,
would have went. That's where
dude,
you needed to go.
and y'all doing all of this running around stuff because you can't point to none of these pioneers who are Puerto Rican because they don't exist. That's why y'all play this little runaround game.
I
There are no
gave you the
Puerto Rican
names.
pioneers. Then you
I
didn't give
gave
any
you the
names. No,
names.
yeah, you're just saying stuff. There's no such thing as a Puerto Rican pioneer of hip hop. You're the students of hip hop. You came later, and that's cool. Be good with that. Okay?
What do you
You're the
consider a
first students of
pioneer?
hip hop.
No, 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 no. Absolutely not.
The pioneer means somebody who created something that wasn't there beforehand. That's a
And who
pioneer
does
in
that? Who does that?
Foundation of Black Americans and not Puerto Ricans. None of
Oh,
you created anything,
Herc
sir.
didn't do that. Herc didn't do
Um,
that.
well, Herc was getting stuff from Flowers and other people, and John Brown. If you want to be
Herc
real,
never. No, Herc didn't get nothing from Flowers. Flowers
yes,
is
he
in
did.
Brooklyn. Herc didn't do nothing
And
with Flowers.
Herc himself said that the sound system game, he saw the Brooklyn dudes doing it. He said this with his mouth. He said that on Combat Jack's show.
And the Brooklyn dudes,
And the
if
Brook
you look at the interview that is on Mark Skill. Mark Skills did the interview with Cool DJ D, and they asked him all those big sound systems in Brooklyn, and he said the foundation of those sound systems come from Jamaica because the people who made those
horse
sound
crap.
systems. What I'll send you the article, brother.
I
I'll
will
send
send.
you the
I got
article.
Cool D in the movie. I have
I'll
Cool
send
D
you
in
the
the movie.
article. Then you call him.
I don't need an article. Cool D is in my movie. He
Call
said
him and ask him.
they had equipment, they knew about sound systems. They can go down to Manhattan and get the sound system. What the hell they need to go to some damn Jamaican about a sound system for? And he told me
That's
where he
not
got them. He
that's
told
not
me
what
where he
I
got the
said.
sound systems in Manhattan. Dude, they
That's
can go
not
down
what
to
I
Manhattan
said.
and get the sound. That's what he said. I'm telling you what he told me. Cool
I'm
DJD,
telling you what he said in the
these
article.
dudes, why would they have to go to some damn Jamaican for a sound system and they can go right there to Manhattan, dude?
That's not what I said. He said,
What
"You're
are
not
you saying?
listening.
What are you saying?
You're not listening."
I'm listening. What are
They
you
asked
saying?
him. They asked him about the sound systems in Brooklyn, the big sound systems, and he
That they've
said,
had since the 1960s. But go ahead.
he said that many of the people who built those sound systems, and he names the DJs in Brooklyn, were from Jamaica and brought that culture from Jamaica.
Horse
That's what
crap.
he said. Well, then he's
Horse crap.
lying. Then he's lying.
Horse crap.
I'll send
Cool
you the
DJ
article,
D.
brother.
Now he's telling the truth in my movie. I don't know what he told y'all in my movie.
He
They were
didn't tell me
doing that on
nothing. I
their own.
read this.
In
I
fact,
read it.
in fact, Cool Herc said that he got the sound system idea from the foundational Black Americans, the Black Americans over in Brooklyn. He saw them doing it. They were doing that already, having the block parties with the big systems. Flowers and those guys were doing that. So that's
Oh yeah,
nothing
yeah,
new.
yeah,
They
yeah.
were doing that.
Yeah. I'm
Chip,
not denying that.
all these guys. And
Chip,
there's
yeah, I'm not.
flyers, from the early 70s. I'm talking about
Mm-hmm,
72 from
mm-hmm,
Brooklyn with them using the word rap on it. And I
mm-hmm.
got that in the movie, sir. So they were doing it in Brooklyn, and Cool DJ D is from Brooklyn, and then he came into the Bronx and started doing his
Right,
thing and
right, right,
showing them what
right,
the deal was. So that
right.
existed before, sir. That's why we getting all of this stuff straight.
I'm not denying anything you're saying. You're not saying anything wrong right now. You're not saying anything I don't disagree. I don't disagree with
Right.
what you're
I'm just
saying.
telling you what the sources told me.
Well, then either D did not include this in your interview, or he lied in the article. It's one of the two. And I'll talk to
Okay.
Mike
People are
Skills.
misquoted in articles all the time.
Yeah,
Right. I'm
I hear
telling
you,
you what
Ray. I agree.
Cool DJ D told me in my face that he got
Okay.
sound systems. He had equipment that he got from downtown Manhattan, New York. And he told me the
Mm-hmm.
store, told me the make and model of the mixers that he had, the
Right.
speakers. So
Right.
they said they've been doing that. Him and the group Fantasia out of Brooklyn. These were
Mm-hmm.
foundational Black American cats. DJ
Mm-hmm.
Flowers was working two turntables in the early 1970s, and that's who Grandmaster Flash got his name from. That's where he got the idea of the Grandmaster name. So a lot of the influences were coming out of Brooklyn. Then it came into the Bronx, and they were influencing some of the Bronx guys too. Now they don't
Understood.
include right, and a lot of them don't include the Grandmaster Flowers and the Pete DJ Jones in the hip hop story because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
them focus primarily on disco music. So
Right.
that's something we tackle in the movie as well. But they were just as influential. But the real influence were foundational Black Americans and not Puerto Ricans. That's the point. There were no
But
Puerto Rican
what
influences.
I'm asking you is simple. Who
Yes.
creates something that was not done before? Which DJ does that? It's
Uh,
Herc.
now what? Like what? What did her
The
create that was not?
merry-go-round. The merry-go-round. That's him. That nobody did that before him. Grand Wizard Theodore has said this numerous times. Nobody did that before him. Melly Mel has said this. Nobody did that before him.
Well, the
So
thing is,
come on.
what Herc did was just play a break beat over and over again.
Sure. Sure.
That's what he did.
Right.
There were people blending music. I don't say they were
Mm-hmm.
blending the breaks primarily, but a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us were focused on break music at the same or break beats at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
In the 1970s, there was a song called The Breakdown. So there's always been this thing at the break of the music, we
Mm-hmm.
start dancing a little harder. That's something in foundational Black American culture. You can see episodes of
Yes.
Soul Train
Sure.
when
Sure.
the
Sure.
breakdown when the drums come on, we start hitting the floor. That's the foundational Black American culture.
You ain't
Herc
hitting the
saw
floor,
this.
but I get what you're saying. Yeah. I
No,
get
we
what you're
were.
saying.
Yes,
I get what
yes,
you're
we
saying.
were hitting the floor.
No, you
What do
weren't.
you mean we weren't hitting the floor?
You
There's
weren't hitting the floor.
video of us hitting the floor in the 1960s, 50s, 40s, but in the 1960s, there's videos of us hitting the floor. What are you
Now
talking about?
you ain't gonna try and say that's breaking, are you? Please don't try
Yeah,
to say that's breaking.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yes,
Okay.
it's the same thing.
I'm sure Charlie Rock doesn't agree with you on that.
You look at episodes of Soul Train, you see us hitting the floor, early 70s.
You're doing
Is that not
splits.
breaking?
No, you're doing splits and drops. That's not
dude.
breaking. You're doing splits and drops. That's what you're doing. Come on, man.
Dude, they're doing way more than splits and drops on
On
the
Soul
floor.
Train,
Yes, on Soul Train,
they're pop locking, doing splits and drops, pin drops.
and
That's what it's
they're
called.
doing stuff, and they're doing other sweeps on the floor as
They're
well.
doing sweeps. Yes, yes, they're doing sweeps. They're doing helicopters. Absolutely, yes. But
Yes, they are.
that's not breaking though, bro.
Okay, how
Those
is
are
it not
just
breaking?
moves
How
because
is it not breaking it?
the foundational moves
And some of the b-boys were doing the exact same moves. How is that not the same?
again moves attached to movements. That's not the same. It's
Boy,
not the
what kind
same
of
thing.
splaining is that? What kind of splaining is that, Derrick? How is that not the same? And it's
If you talk about the foundational
Derrick,
moves of the
how is that not the
breakers,
same? On Soul Train, they're doing sweeps,
let me
helicopters.
explain. Let me explain.
Boy, the splaining is
Let me
woo.
explain.
Go
Let me
ahead. Let me hear
explain,
this.
man.
Let me hear
Let me
this. Let me hear
explain.
this. Go ahead. What's the difference?
So
Lord.
top rock, 6-step freezes. That's breaking.
Oh, stop.
And then you see
Says
them
who? Says who?
incorporating.
Says who? Says no 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 no
Says
no. Says who?
ask Charlie Rock. He'll tell you the same thing. He'll tell you the
No.
same thing.
Well, Charlie Rock also said the Puerto Ricans weren't there, so you don't believe him. But he also
He
said
didn't say
that.
the Puerto
So
Ricans weren't there. He said
yeah,
there
he
weren't a
said
lot of us.
no,
That's what
y'all
he
weren't
said.
there.
I have him on tape, bro.
And
So
I have him on tape too.
I know. And he
I
didn't
mean,
say
y'all
there
came
weren't a lot
later.
of us. He's in the
Y'all,
trailer, bro. He's saying it in the trailer. The trailer
they're
you
saying
put
that
up,
y'all came
he's
later.
saying y'all they weren't there like a lot of them like that. That's what he's saying. But he's
And
also
even when they're
saying,
saying not a lot of them, they're talking about the ones in the audience because
okay,
y'all weren't
okay.
b-boying. Y'all weren't. When he says that there was a few there, that means the ones who were just there watching the jams. It might have been
Hmm.
one or two in the audience, but as far as participating in b-boying, no. Everybody across the board said Puerto Ricans weren't there, and I'm talking
But
about
let's get
all of the pioneers.
but well, I'll believe that they said that when I see it.
Oh,
When I
you'll
see
see
the
it.
doc,
Oh yeah.
I'll believe that they said that because I have a
Oh
hard
yes,
time
indeed.
believing that they said that.
Yeah, they said it. They
Okay,
said it.
so back to the b-boy thing. Ask Charlie Rock what the foundation of the b-boy is. It's top rock, it's the 6-step, it's the footwork, it's the freezes. That they're not doing that on Soul Train. They're doing certain moves that
No,
they
no,
incorporated
no.
into
That's
that.
not the foundation. That's not the found. That's a certain interpretation of b-boying. But b-boying, by definition, it's a lot of freestyle moves. It's a lot of unconventional moves that are freestyle moves. You innovate some of the moves as they go along. That's what makes it
And that's where
unique.
you get sweeps.
And people come up with their own interpretations of it, and they have the burning dance where they incorporate certain things. They do flips, so it's all about being innovative. So there's no set in stone foundation of what the b-boy dance is, but what we see in foundational Black American culture is us hitting the floor, us doing some stand-up dances, and then us being on some freestyle shit, hitting the floor, jumping back up and
Sure,
doing something fly.
no
See,
doubt,
the
no
thing
doubt.
is, you Puerto Rican fam, y'all came later, and y'all focus and you focus prime. And let me keep it a
When's
buck.
later? When's later?
Later meaning late 70s, early 80s.
Bro, we're there since
And
75. Come
no
on,
no
man.
no
Come
no
on,
70
man.
and
Stop
75
that.
y'all were doing the hustle.
75.
No,
We're
75
there
y'all
in
weren't doing anything.
75.
No, y'all were doing the hustle, dude. And y'all started focusing on floor work later because truth be told, you couldn't really dance on the up rock tip. You didn't have the rhythm to dance.
Are
So
you
you would have to
serious?
so you
Are
would
you
have to spin on
serious?
you would have to spin on the floor for 20 minutes because you couldn't really dance. B-boying was about dancing in rhythm, hitting the floor, doing something fly, then coming back up in rhythm. A lot of you couldn't do that, so
And
you
we
had
didn't
to
do
hit the
that?
floor.
And we didn't do that.
No, y'all
Come
had
on.
to hit the floor and
Come on.
stay on the
Come on.
floor and spin on your back for 20 minutes. Let's keep it a buck.
Spinning
All
on the
right,
back came in the 80s, bro.
right. That's
That
what
that
I'm
wasn't
saying.
a 70s thing.
So, right.
That
So
wasn't a
y'all had to
70s
focus
thing.
on
The
that.
foundation
All right.
was from 75, and it's top rock, it's footwork, it's freezes. That's the
And top rock
foundation.
and top rock dances, we've been doing that since the 1890s. That's the Charleston.
It's not the same thing. It's
It's
not, and you know
it's
it.
the
And
exact
you
same
know
thing.
it.
It's
You
the
know it's
exact
not the
same
same
thing.
thing.
It's the
Nah.
Charleston and the Lindsay hop.
The
All right.
rock dance,
That's
brother.
all
The
it
rock
is.
dance. The rock
The rock
dance,
dance is a myth.
Frank Rojas.
That's a lot. That's a myth that y'all done created. There's no rock dance that we were influenced by at all.
The
We
rock
didn't
dance
get
and the
nothing from
Latin breakdown.
ain't no Latin breakdown
The
and the
Latin
rock
breakdown.
dance.
So
The
what
crack rock
instruments are
dance
they
because you got to
playing
be
in the
smoking.
breaks?
You got to be smoking crack rock to believe that y'all influenced us with some damn rock dance. Give me a break, all right? It's the
So
crack rock dance.
what instruments do you hear in the breaks? Tell me the
You
instruments.
hear foundational Black American drums. You hear
Hmm.
percussions. That's what you hear in the breaks,
Okay.
and you hear funk. You hear funk being hit on the one. That's what you
Yes.
hear. All breaks,
Absolutely.
and that's James Brown, and that's foundational Black American.
Absolutely.
It
I
starts on
admit
the
that.
one.
Yes.
We weren't getting Latin music because y'all music don't even start on the one. Yeah,
Nobody said Latin music. Tariq, nobody
all
said
right, y'all
Latin
can't mix
music.
it up. The way
We
you
didn't say Latin music. We
we
said the
weren't.
Latin percussions.
No, Latin percussion is nothing. We weren't shimmying our hips and shit. We weren't doing none of that. Y'all don't have the kind of music that you could break
You
to,
didn't even
sir.
use Latin percussion instruments in your big bands. So what
Sir,
are you talking
that's
about?
that's inconsequential. We were
It is
funk breaks are based on funk,
the funk.
which is
The
foundational
funk.
Black American.
James Brown didn't have Latin percussions in his bands until he didn't start out that way. Until where did he get that
Until what?
influence from? Until he started putting it in. Until Johnny Griggs, and Johnny Griggs played for Fania All Stars.
Are
So
you
this
saying
is
that?
what I'm
Are you
saying.
saying that? Are you trying to say that he influenced James Brown?
Who? John Griggs is African American. No,
I,
I'm
I understand,
saying,
but are you trying to
yeah.
say that Latin music influenced James Brown?
No, I'm saying that James
What are you
Brown
saying,
wanted
man?
he wanted that sound. This is
What
recorded.
sound? What sound?
The
Because
Latin
funk.
sound.
No, he didn't. What Latin sound did James Brown have?
We're talking about the
James Brown
Latin
didn't have no damn
instruments.
Latin sound. What are you talking about, Derrick?
Yes, the follow rhythm and give
That
it
ain't
up,
no.
turn it loose.
That ain't
That's
dude.
Cuban.
That ain't
It's
no
Cuban.
goddamn Cuban.
Yes, it
How come?
is.
How come no Cuban records sound like that then?
It's the follow rhythm, bro.
What Cuban
Cubans use
records
that.
sound like? What Cuban record sounds like? Give it up, turn it loose.
No, that's not what we're
No, no,
talking
no, no,
about.
no,
We're
no,
talking
no.
about
If it's
we're
Cuban,
talking
no, no,
about the
no. If it's Cuban, what Cuban records sound like? Give it up, turn it loose, or
I
anything
didn't
close?
say it was
All
Cuban. You're
right,
not
then. Then
listening.
it don't make no sense. Then,
I'm
right? It
saying the
don't make
rhythm.
sense.
I'm saying
Don't
the
rhythm
rhythm
nothing.
is
What?
a
There are
follow
no Cuban
rhythm.
records that sound like James Brown records, sir.
No,
There are no
no, no,
Cuban
no,
funk
no, no.
records. What are you
No.
talking about? You just saying stuff.
There are Latin funk records, so don't
No,
go
no, no.
there.
That came later. That came later. Them imitating foundational Black American artists. Name
Joe
the Cuban records.
Patan.
What Cuban records sound like funk records coming out of the '60s?
Nobody's saying that.
Nobody, none.
You're
So how
making
are you
me.
gonna
No, nobody's
how are
saying
you
that.
gonna no, 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 no? Then how are you gonna influence a music genre that you don't have?
I'm not saying that.
Okay,
You're trying
okay,
to make
okay.
me
All
say
right.
that.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Good Lord. All right, guys, I'm in Fiji. Let me go back to the beach. I'm sick of hearing this horse shit. All right, all right.
Peace,
Anyway,
Tariq.
guys, y'all have at it. Y'all have at it. I'm about to go eat me
Hey,
some
I'm gonna send you the flyers.
I'm about to eat me some taro bread right now.
I'm gonna send you the flyers.
All
I'm
right.
gonna send you
Send
the
me the
flyers.
flyers. Y'all
All right,
have at it. All right.
I
Thank you
got
so
you.
much, guys.
All right,
Skippy.
peace, Tariq. Glad to have you up, my brother. Yeah. Hey, now look, this is what I'm gonna do now.